Welcome to Pickle Moneyball Courtside. I'm your host, Haley Novak. And whether you're a longtime fan or just now discovering the sport, well, you're in the right place. We have all the exclusive stories and all the action coming up right here on Pickle Moneyball Courtside. In fact, one of our next big stops on our calendar is in Boston, Massachusetts. This will be our next Super Series event with over $140,000 in payout. It's at the Pickler in Boston, and the top 4 qualify to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This pays 8 places in each division, all happening August 8th through the 10th. This will be our second Super Series event, so make sure you have your spots on and get ready on your calendar to get going for Boston, Massachusetts. Here's everything that you need to know before you hit the court.
How do you nominate and start stacking leaderboard points? Honestly, it's almost too easy. Step 1. Download the Pickle Moneyball app. Step 2. Create your account. Takes about 30 seconds. Step 3. Hit Nominate. Then create or choose the event you want to earn points in. Now pick your division, select your class, hit checkout, and just like that, you're nominated. After you're done playing, submit your results and start climbing that leaderboard.
All right, that's all you need to know for your nominations for our next Super Series event. Make sure to keep those nominations rolling for your chance to compete on the court. We're now welcoming in our pickleball expert, Eric Tice from the Dink Pickleball. Eric, thank you for joining me here today.
Happy to be here, Haley. Thanks for having me.
All right, Eric, there's some new things happening within the pickleball space. What's going on with the Selkirk company?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing is, in mid-May, it was announced Selkirk Sport acquired Bread and Butter Pickleball. Alex Weaver, the digital content director of the Dink Pickleball, had a great article about the acquisition. The reason this is important is because this is really the first big step in the direction of consolidating paddle companies. There are hundreds of paddle manufacturers, but the top level of the sport, everyone's fighting for market share. Selkirk recently raised $30 million at a $200 million valuation. And with that influx of capital, they're looking to seek opportunistic acquisitions. Bread and Butter was the first venture into this. The Bread and Butter logo put the paddle company on the map last year and was named Best Paddle of 2025 by multiple outlets. Of note, Bread and Butter is still maintaining its own corporate identity under the Selkirk umbrella.
That's so interesting, everything going on within the paddle manufacturing world. What else is going on in the pickleball space?
Yeah, so actually this next one affects a lot of Pickle Moneyball players. The wait is over. The Duper reset is now officially done. Again, Alex Weaver has a great article on the Dink website breaking down the Duper reset. Players had the opportunity to pay $35 to reset their Duper rating from March 16th through May 31st. Essentially, if you thought your Duper didn't accurately reflect your true level, you were able to have at least 8 matches in that time frame to update your Duper. The results? For the most part, players were accurately rated. 400,000 matches were recorded for the Duper reset. 57% of participants had their Duper increase. 43% had their Duper either stay the same or decrease. Here's a crazy stat. 91% of the participants who had their Duper go up saw an increase of 0.3 or less, while 8%, or 1 in every 12 players, saw a big increase between 0.3 and 0.5 of their Duper. With all that being said, your Duper ratings are now all recalibrated if you went through the Duper reset process. Make sure you get on pickleballtournaments.com and sign up for the next Pickle Moneyball in Carrollton, Texas at the Pickler Universe at the end of the month.
With all of the new things happening with the Duper rating system, how does that affect Pickle Moneyball?
Yeah, great question. Since the Duper reset is done now, players can go into pickleballtournaments.com and sign up for the Carrollton or an upcoming Pickle Moneyball series event, and they'll be able to sign up for their correct rating system, meaning their category is now set for them, and so they just have to use what their current Duper is, and then you're kind of locked in once you sign up with that Duper.
How will that affect the competition in Carrollton?
It could actually increase the level of competition just a bit. Like I said, there were a lot of players that did the duper reset that actually increased their duper. So they may have been going from a 3.95 and now they're a 4.12, putting them into a higher level category. And so we may see a higher level of competition in Carrollton in just a few short weeks.
All right, it'll be exciting. We'll look forward to seeing you there, Eric. Thank you for joining me here today.
Thanks, as always, and see you soon.
All right, let's go ahead and meet that pickleball guy, Kyle Kazuda.
My name's Kyle Kazuda, play pro pickleball, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Started like 4 years ago, and I went to a park, got invited, and got hooked on it pretty quickly. And then I ended up going back to the same park the next morning at like 7 a.m. And kind of a funny story, I didn't even know this paddle stacking thing was a thing, so I just sat on a bench and watched people play for about an hour. And then eventually someone's like, hey, you gotta put your paddle in. So I put my paddle in, and then I played rec for a few hours. And that really just started me playing every single day, probably for the last 4 years. And I decided to try to work my way from never playing to pro, and now I play professionally. Playing with Amelia Brandt, TO, is pretty exciting. I mean, anytime you get to do an exhibition, it's just a different environment. I play very competitively often, and so to be out here and play in a fun environment, I mean, playing professionally is fun, but it's more serious. And so playing here where we can just hit some crazy shots and have a good time is a real blast. Basically every single thing in pickleball has continued to get better every day for the last 4 years since I've been in it. And I think that will continue over the next 5-10 years. Really, I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens. I think I'm 4.5 years in, and I still learn something every time I play. I didn't have anything else like that in my life before I started playing. And so that's probably the best part about this whole thing. Yeah, the Pickle Moneyball has been great. They've run very efficiently. We've gotten on and off the court well. There's shade for us right now, so it's been a great experience.
The next big tournament for Pickle Moneyball is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the Fort, with $600,000 added to this tournament. There's a few roads that you can take to make sure you play there. You can go throughout the leaderboard where the top 36 players go, or through the Super Series events where the top 4 players from each of the 3 regional Super Series events move straight on to the Fort. 96 total players per class, per division, all compete in the gold medal bracket. There's a lot of money on the line. It's going to be a repeat of what we saw in Mesa, Arizona. It'll be really fun to see at the end of the year. We're going to bring in our favorite pickleball player, Maddie Rasmussen. She joined me in the booth while we were in Mesa, Arizona, and since then you've been taking the world by storm. Brief me on what you've been up to since then.
Yeah, I feel like I am always gone. Been able to travel, which has been super fun, playing in lots of PPA challengers recently. I just got back from Fort Collins, Colorado. Before that, I was in Coeur d'Alene for the Combine for Selkirk, San Clemente before that, all the places. One thing that I love about pickleball is it allows me to travel. But I miss you guys. It was fun being with you, and I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, let's reminisce on Mesa a little bit. What did you think of that tournament?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I just couldn't get a first place. I finished second, third, and fourth. So this next time around, I'm gunning for first place because it was funny. My second place finish actually was in singles, which is probably my worst event. So we'll be back. I'm excited, playing all 3 events again, and excited to hopefully get some wins.
Maddie, how do you stay practiced up for each of those events?
Oh, good question. It's hard because I'm doing a lot of coaching these days too. So coaching a lot. But yeah, it's just finding high level players and getting the repetition and staying consistent, because especially with coaching, it's hard to find time sometimes, especially when you're on the road. But something that's been really helpful for me is playing in all these high level PPA challengers, because you're just playing against such great talent every single weekend. And you have to show up. If you don't show up, you're losing.
I could see that. You make it sound simple, though. I know it's not. You have some drills that you've posted about on your Instagram. Your multi-ball drill. Can you tell me about that one?
Yeah. So my coaching style, I like to get kind of creative sometimes. This drill is super fun. It's great to work on your consistency as you move up to the net. Most people, as they get closer, they want to lift their chest, their body up instead of staying down. And it's really important to still stay down. You can still rip through the ball, but as you move up, the court actually shrinks. So the farther away you are from the net, the court's bigger, and as you get closer, it shrinks. And some people like to just pull it from close up, but you really have to focus on having topspin.
Okay, Maddie, what about the drill where you use multiple balls?
Okay, yeah, this one's so fun. I just tried it for the first time the other day, but you have two balls. One person is working on their drive, and there is another person, either your coach or the person you're drilling with. They're dropping two balls. You're catching one with your offhand and then swinging through with your dominant hand. And the whole point of this drill is to teach that you have more time than you think. And it looks a lot harder than it is. I will say this works from anywhere from 2.5s up to the pro level, working on your timing, working on just getting that swing path right and not swinging too early or too late.
Yeah, it's so impressive to see that. It certainly looks really hard. I was watching those videos and just astonished at the fact that you're able to do that. So what does the future look like for you, Maddie?
Great question. Still just going for it. This game has brought me so much joy. I love it so much. It's really cool that in my 30s and being a mom, I can still compete at a high level. I can still win, and I can still push myself. So that's my goal moving forward for the rest of the year. I had a really good combine in Coeur d'Alene for Selkirk, and looking for that paddle sponsorship wherever that might come from, and hopefully just continuing to keep grinding, to keep getting good wins. I've been making some good progress in my last couple tournaments, making some semis, and I'm just looking for that gold. So that's what's in store. I'm going to come visit you guys soon, so I'm excited for that. And again, I want first place this time, not second, third, or fourth.
Well, Maddie, it's so impressive to see you grinding and always shooting to achieve those goals, and it makes you really creative whenever you get into your drill. So let's talk about the multi-object drill.
Oh, okay. So this drill is actually for working on going down the line when you're playing mixed. So a lot of times the guy hugs the middle. He's trying to play big. And so this is really good at working on just cross-court dinking with the girl until you find that opening. You can see that the ball comes a little bit higher here, and I'm able to shoot down the line. So that one's fun. For any women who want to go behind the guy, that would be the best drill to practice, because it's kind of annoying when he's poaching.
I would have to imagine so. So out of all the tournaments all season long, what makes you choose Pickle Moneyball?
Oh, well, I didn't even know this before coming to meet you guys, but just you guys as a whole, your team, so fun. Really fun to hang out with. Great money. And as a high level player, you're always looking to win money, but at the same time, you guys are opening this up for amateurs as well, which is super cool. So you can win at any level, which you don't see that all the time. The payout's nice. It's for, up to 12 spots even. So that's great. The location was fantastic. Just the way that you guys showed up and put on a really good event was amazing, because sometimes we don't see that. You have not the best location, or you're not really taken care of, but I felt like you guys took care of us, and we got to know you guys a little bit better, and it was just a blast. So I'm going to keep playing Pickle Moneyball until you guys don't want me anymore.
So how is this association affecting the amateur pickleball players across the nation?
Yeah, like I said, it's giving everyone an opportunity to compete for money, compete at a high level, and see kind of the same atmosphere as pros, right? Like, the coolest thing about pickleball is that you can, as an amateur, you can play alongside the pros, right? Same day, you're hitting next to, one of the best in the world, and that's pretty cool. But you guys are making it possible to have that high level experience, that competition, and to also, win money at the end of the day, see different competition, have them travel. Like as a pro, it's super fun to travel. And I'm sure as amateurs as well, it's super fun to be invited to events like this around the country and be able to compete.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today, Maddie, and rest up. You've been busy, so make sure you're healthy for Carrollton.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, a lot coming up here on Pickle Moneyball Courtside. More, stay with us. Welcome back into Pickle Moneyball Courtside. It's time to meet our resident comedian, Evan Slaughter, for Talkin' Pickle.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talkin' Pickle. I am your host, Evan Slaughter, also known online as Fit to Serve. And with me today is Miss Katie Hoff Anderson.
Yes.
Katie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, I think I might just get roasted.
Well, that's why I asked you to be on here. Last week, the first episode, we had Miles on, who Katie knows as well, living here in Nashville. Miles, former NFL player, new to pickleball, but he's picking it up pretty fast, I've noticed. When we play together, he seems to get a little bit better. Not the case for Katie. Not the case for Katie. So, Katie, we're going to get a little bit of background. Katie, Olympic swimmer. Tell us a little bit about your highlights, your career.
Yeah, so 2-time Olympian, 3-time Olympic medalist, 3-time world record holder. Actually still have the American record in 400 IM. So, might I add, really great athlete, but like in the water.
Okay.
In my defense.
Yes.
I mean, I think for me, I specialized so early. Literally 5 years old. I got a D in 4th grade on my hand-eye coordination, which is kind of messed up that they even give grades on that.
Yeah, it was like a gym class or something.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So I feel
You're
like,
bad at this. You're bad at hand-eye coordination.
I feel like it gets
Get out.
complex.
Yeah, it could have for sure.
And so, I think I could be decent, but I'm just not willing to put in that amount of work to be decent.
Yeah. Well, I remember you saying, I think after the first time we played together, you made a comment about like, if you can't be good at it, if you can't conquer it or be one of the best at the sport, you just don't play it, right?
I mean, yes, I did.
It's a tough way to look at life.
Do we need to go deeper? Let's go there. But
therapy.
No. But I think also, because it is a team sport, I also felt like I was ruining the fun for other people. You hit it into the net, it's annoying, grab the ball. So I just feel like it was like, if this is supposed to be a fun sport, I wasn't having any fun.
Yeah.
So I would rather just spectate.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good point. Like, I know the feeling. Like, you don't want to be the one that's out there, can't hit the ball back, everything, slowing down the pace of the game. I do understand that. Obviously, we don't care. We're having fun. We just like that you're out there. But I can see how that feels.
I love watching it. I love cheering people on. I went and cheered you on in your tournament.
Yeah, that's right. You did. And DJ. You DJ. You can do the music.
I bring
get the drinks. Yeah.
I'm like the vibe girl.
I love that. A lot of people are talking about pickleball becoming an Olympic sport. What does it take to become an Olympic sport?
I actually don't know, but I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like the barrier to entry seems a little low. I might get hate for that.
Olympic? Yeah.
I just feel like there's flag football getting added. There's just a lot of new sports being added, which I'm all for the Olympic movement and having more people be a part of it, but I just feel like I don't know enough about it. They just added Ninja Warrior as an Olympic sport.
As an Olympic sport?
Yes. So
wow.
I don't know what the criteria. Like breakdancing was another one.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think it's like, I don't know what the parameters are, the criteria, but I do think it should be a little bit of a challenge to get in because being an Olympian and representing your country is such a high honor.
Right.
But I mean, I could see pickleball being added. I would say it has the kind of the components that would make sense to be an Olympic sport.
One of the things, Pickle Moneyball, the shirt I'm wearing, a big tournament. The first tournament they did $600,000 payout. What amount of money would it take for you to enter a tournament, right? Enter a tournament. Usually when you enter, you're at least playing a couple games. What kind of money would it take for you to go play? And let's say it's televised for Katie Hoff Anderson to go play in a tournament. What's the amount of money?
Well, I need some guaranteed capital,
Ooh.
because I'm not going to win. So.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that, we don't know that.
Guaranteed. I mean, I would say just to show up and play a couple games on TV. So basically, I'm agreeing to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I would say at least
nationally
5 to 10K.
Okay, hey, that's not too bad. You heard it here first, Pickle Moneyball. 5 to 10K. We can get Katie out there to compete in the Pickle Moneyball tournament. All right. Well, hey, thanks for having us, and thanks for being on the show with me. We'll be playing pickleball soon, but obviously we'll have you there observing.
I'll be the cheerleader. Yeah.
All right. That's it. See you next time.
All right, thanks for that, Evan. What a funny guy, and I love that he was able to bring in an Olympian to talk all about pickleball. But it's time to bring in one of Evan's friends, actually, Vinny Tran. Thank you for joining me, Vinny. What's it like seeing your friend Evan on the other side of the camera?
That was really entertaining. I actually didn't expect that, but I was just sitting here just laughing my butt off. He's great.
And that's what you guys were doing the whole time for our tournament in Mesa, Arizona. So let's go ahead and dive into the competition there. What divisions did you compete in, and how'd you do out there?
Yeah, I played in the 4-0 to 4-5. I thought I was going to do way better, but we got our butt whooped. But I had a lot of fun, so I think that's the most important thing.
I love it. Fun is the most important part of pickleball. So how far did you have to travel for this event?
So I came from Boston. So I guess I would say cross country, if you will.
What made you decide to make the leap and go ahead and buy your tickets?
I had a friend who tried to convince me for 3 weeks. And after the 4th week, I finally gave in. I was like, all right, well, there's guaranteed money. I've never been to Arizona. There should be some good play. And I knew everyone was going to be there. So I was like, all right, I'm going to book my tickets and go.
That's perfect. So what does life look like for you since then, Vinny? What's your day-to-day like?
Since then, I started a job doing tech sales. But the nice thing about it is that, my day-to-day really does feel pickleball. So it does allow me, to get trips funded and to go to events like Pickle Moneyball. So it gives me something to live for.
Yeah, that's really cool that you guys have a lot of fun. In fact, you guys do funny Instagram videos and stuff. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we're both signed by a Volair, which is a PAL company. And every time me and Evan or any of the guys get together, it's always a fun time. And, it's always fun just making content, laughing, and just catching up.
I know you guys are having fun, but are you training hard at the same time? Are you really exceeding your limits at the pickleball courts?
I'm trying to. I just did the duper reset. I went from a 4-3 to a 4-7. So I think I'll be good for tournaments for a little bit, and then I'll probably get the itch again to compete. But, having fun is the most important part for me.
You mentioned having the itch again to compete. How is this duper rating going to affect your next play in the Pickle Moneyball tournament?
I probably won't win any money, or I'll probably win the least amount of money possible.
I'm not liking the confidence, Vinny. Why is that?
I think that the guaranteed money is really nice, but you also have to be realistic in terms of what skill level you are in. So, for the 4-0 to 4-5, I felt like I had a good shot of at least being in the middle of the pack. Anything above 4-5, 5-0, that's a whole different level.
All right, well, I don't like how you're stacking the odds against yourself already. If somebody was sitting at home wondering if they should enter this tournament or not, tell us why.
I think you totally should. I think that they ran a really clean tournament. The guaranteed money is a game changer. You can at least assume that, worst case scenario, you'll make this much, so that at the very least it can cover your plane tickets or something like that. But overall, really great environment, really great team that was broadcasting, and the competition was top tier for sure.
All right, you guys have to stay in really good shape. When we saw in those videos, you're in really good shape yourself. How are you staying in shape out there?
I started going to the gym more frequently. I would say probably 4 or 5 times a week now, just to, supplement the pickleball, because I feel like if you're only doing pickleball, you'll be pretty good at pickleball, but you can't be the best that you can be, if that makes sense.
I like it, always striving to be the best. All right, last question. Will we see you in Carrollton for a Super Series event?
Unfortunately not, but I'm sending my boy, Sean Munoz there, and he's going to win it.
Wow, I cannot believe we won't see you there, but I'm glad you're sending a friend. Thank you for joining us here on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Good seeing you again. Bye, y'all.
It's so nice to get to know our players a little bit more here on the show, but let's take it back to Mesa, Arizona for our celebrity match when there was some alleged interference on the court.
On today.
I got a bug in my eye. I had him running. It was a gnat. Yeah.
See what Tio does for this.
That wasn't my
serve.
fault. That was because of a gnat. You guys. That's in. Oh yeah.
A little deep there.
In your dream. I thought if I said it convincing, you might fall for it.
For many pickleball athletes, their journey begins in tennis. Similarly, for Allison Harris, her journey began the same. Let's get to know her a little better.
I'm Allison Harris, I'm 32 years old, and I'm a professional pickleball player. I grew up playing tennis, played D1 tennis. I found it during COVID. I feel like it was just like a great way to reintroduce like competitiveness, and just has an amazing community of people. This experience has been amazing. Everyone's been so kind and friendly. The competition was great. It was fun. I got to play with two of my friends and had a great time. And it was just overall a really great experience, great hospitality, great courts, great facility, and overall everyone was just great. I think this one is just so great that it pays out for the round of 16. I think that's so big for people to come in with a better chance of making money. I think it's hard for some of these other tours. You're coming in, you're playing, grinding through qualifiers to then like play top seeds and have a lot of upsets to come away with anything. So I think this just gives a lot of people more opportunities. You're getting better reps, getting to play against great people, and great opportunity to make money. Yeah, I would definitely go to another Pickle Moneyball event. It was amazing.
Allison Harris had a great attitude all week. We can't wait to see her next time. Let's get into the Friday nights at the Fort Week 1 winners and the 40 Open Division, $1,000, and the men's 3.0 doubles, $1,000, and 4.5 mixed doubles, $1,000 to them. Congratulations to all the winners from Week 1 at Friday nights at the Fort. All right, our qualifier series is looking really nicely, and it's shaping up to be good as we qualify for the Super Series events. Each qualifier series tournament will feature a $1,700 guaranteed purse, with first place winning $1,000, second place $500, and third place $200. The singles divisions will pay 50% of those listed amounts, but the winning team will earn a qualification to one of the following 2026 Super Series events, giving you the opportunity to compete for some of the largest payouts in pickleball. You can enter on the app. Make sure you get your nominations in and enter these qualifiers. It's going to be big. Entering up for your spot for a chance at 6 figures for Fort Lauderdale. So lots coming up here on Pickle Moneyball, but I'm Haley Novak. Thank you for watching Courtside.